Hi there, everyone, and welcome to today's IELTS speaking class, where we will be getting together in order to do some speaking practice, and I'll be giving feedback on different aspects of the IELTS speaking exam. So welcome to all those who are watching live and those who are watching as well the recorded class. I hope that you find it useful. We are broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook at the moment, so if you're watching, then do let me know your name and where you're watching from, and do contribute as well to the class if you know the answers to any of the questions that are being asked, because the more that you contribute, the more useful the class will be. So I can see that we've been joined live in the classroom by Wena, Lauren, Jessie, Bunny, Alice, and Jess. So a warm welcome to all of you. And on Facebook, Abby is watching. Hello to you, Abby. Where are you watching from today? Let me know. Okay, so who else? Jaime or Jamie has joined us as well. Hello to you, Jamie. We've also got Jeff from the Philippines. Hello to you, Jeff. And Abby is watching from Saudi Arabia. Jessie is live in the class from India. Hello, Tilda. Tilda is watching from Nigeria. So we've got an international flavor as usual to the class today. Nicolin is watching live as well on Facebook, and Crystal is watching from the Philippines as well. So wonderful to see so many of you watching from all over the world. I hope that you'll be contributing to the class as well. I've got a few questions that I'll be asking you at the beginning, so I look forward to your responses. Adajet is watching as well. Hello to you, Adajet. And Tuhami, Chandi, and Mia as well. Hello to all of you. Okay. So, just before we look at the tips that I have for IELTS speaking in today's class, I would like to just make you aware of the opportunity that exists with the scholarship program. One of the benefits of joining the scholarship program is the fact that you will be able to participate live in classes such as this one, and you will get support here at Swoosh English and with Connetics in terms of developing your IELTS preparation and moving much closer towards achieving your IELTS goals. So if you would like to take advantage of the support we can offer here at both Swoosh and Connetics, then join us on the scholarship program. We can provide you with the pathway towards living and working as a nurse in the USA, and you could be able to achieve all of these things for free. So just click on the link in the chat box in order to find out more information about this. Okay. So just in the last couple of moments, we've been joined by Hazem and Rowan as well. Rowan from the Philippines, and Mia is in Birmingham at the moment. Birmingham, very close to my city of Nottingham. So a fellow Midlands, Midlandser. Welcome to you, Mia. Okay, so some tips for speaking in today's class. What I want to look at today is pronunciation. So pronunciation is one of the 4 criteria that your speaking will be graded on, alongside obviously grammar, vocabulary, and fluency. So one of the elements of pronunciation that can cause issues for speakers at times is the fact that words in English can often look different to how they are pronounced. And an example of this is with silent letters. So we can see here that there are a number of words which contain silent letters, and here are some of the common examples of this. So a silent K is quite common in English, and we can see a silent K in words like knee and no. So in the pronunciation, there's no recognition of the K sound. It exists in the spelling, but it doesn't exist in the pronunciation. We can also see a similar effect with a silent H in words like character and chord. So the words are pronounced as if the H doesn't exist in both cases, but in the spelling it does. There's a silent S in Ireland. It's one of the most famous examples of silent letters. And also the silent B in debt as well, which can cause issues for pronunciation. And then a final example of this is the silent W in words such as wrong and right, which are pronounced as if the W does not exist. So this is a common phenomenon in English spelling, and it's something we have to be aware of when we are learning new vocabulary in the context of speaking. If we see a new word, we have to make sure that we know how to pronounce it correctly. So let's have a look at some more examples of this. Here we can see some examples of words which contain silent letters. Can you tell me what is the silent letter in each case? So with the example, we've got chaos. Chaos is pronounced with a silent H. But what are the silent letters in these other words that we can see on the screen here? So let me know in the chat box if you have the answers. Can anyone tell me which letters are silent in these words? So let's see. Okay, so Bunny and Jesse have identified the letter T in the first word is silent. Okay, good start. Alice also has identified the letter T for the first word. What about the second one? Second word, Alice has identified N, as has Bunny and Jesse. Okay, any other responses here? Anyone think they've got any ideas for the third word? Which letter is silent there? Okay, so Alice is saying the H for the third word. What do we think? So we've got a suggestion here for Ain, I believe that, I'm not sure if that's correct pronunciation, but Ain is saying for number 3, O is silent. And for number 4, C, number 5, T, number 6, W. Okay. Okay, so we've got a few different suggestions here. T for number 5 is a popular one. W for number 6. O for number 3 is quite popular. Tilda says C for number 4. Okay. Jesse and Jess are saying O as well for number 3, as is Bunny. And Bunny saying C for number 4. Okay, good. So some good responses here. And let's confirm. So for number 1, indeed the silent letter is T. Mortgage is a pronunciation. So there's no pronunciation of the T sound in number 1. For number 2, N is the silent letter. Government. Yeah, we don't say government. It'll be very difficult. In English, we don't tend to pronounce N and M together. So the N disappears. It becomes government. Number 3, chocolate. So it only has 2 syllables. So the middle O disappears. It becomes chocolate. So yeah, the O in chocolate disappears, the second O. Number 4, muscle. So it's the C that is silent for number 4. For number 5, there's 2 pronunciations, castle or castle, but with whichever pronunciation you use, there's no T. So the T is silent in castle. And for number 6, it is again the W, wrist. That silent W is very common in English, and especially before an R. W before an R, often the W is silent. Okay, good. So we identified most of these, and it is important to be able to identify these because, as I say, it can play an important role in our pronunciation. So can anyone think of any other words which contain silent letters? If you can, let us know in the chat box so we can find a few more examples of this. There might be new words that other people in the class haven't seen before. So yeah, throughout the class, if you come across new words or if you notice new words in the speaking practice that we do share them in the chat box so that we can learn together. So already we've got some. So Jesse, hour. Yep, the silent H in hour, absolutely, is a key one. Honor is another one as well, where there's a silent H at the beginning. White. Yep, silent H in white. That's a good one, Bunny. And Jesse, often. Yeah, often, where the T is silent, is another good one as well. Rhythm. Yes, silent H in rhythm. That's a good one, Tilda. Flabbergasted. Which one's silent and flabbergasted? I don't think there's any silent letters in flabbergasted. Maybe they are in British pronunciation. Cupboard is a good one. It says crystal, yep. Cupboard, it's spelt with a P, but the P is not pronounced. Subtle is a very good one, Julie. Yeah, there's no B pronunciation, is there, in subtle? So a silent B in subtle. Action, says Alice, action. So that shun, I guess with the shun, the IO kind of just, it becomes a very weak sound, doesn't it? So that is a common one with that shun, where the IO becomes weaker. Another one with silent H, honest. Yeah, it's a good one, Jesse. And also Christmas. Yeah, Christmas with a silent T. Oh, look at that, lots of them. Good, okay, good. We've got lots of these sorts of words. So we're going to move on now to do some speaking practice. And I want you to pay attention to any words which either I, as the examiner, say, or any of the speaking candidates say, which contain these silent letters. If you notice any, do share them throughout the class. So let's have a look. We're going to start with part 2. Sorry, just before we do, these are just some other ones as well. Other common words which I don't think have been mentioned. So calm with a silent L, camera with a silent E, design, there's a silent G there, autumn, where there's a silent N, vineyard, where you make wine, there's a silent E in vineyard, and wrinkle, again with that WR where the W is silent. So there's some other ones to add to your list if you weren't aware of them already. So as I said, pay attention to the pronunciation of words in today's class and share any more examples that you hear during the speaking practice. And I'll read out any examples that you notice after the practice is completed. So we're going to start with speaking part 2. Just a quick description for those who are less familiar with the IELTS exam. Speaking part 2 will last for between 3 to 4 minutes. It will begin with the presentation of a question. The candidate will then have a minute to prepare their response. The candidate should aim to speak for 2 minutes and always aim to hit those full 2 minutes. If the examiner stops you before 2 minutes, that's not a problem, but you should always aim to speak for 2 minutes because you don't want to be in a situation where you stop talking and the examiner is forced to ask you an extra question. By continuing to speak until the examiner stops you, you show a high level of fluency. So here is our first question. So let's see who is going to join us in order to answer this question. I'm going to bring Alice into the class. Hi there, Alice.
Hi, how are you, Alex?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
Not bad.
Great, great. Sorry, just make sure I can hear you. The audio is just a little bit off. I think it's on my side.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yeah, I think it was my problem there. Okay. So you're doing well today, Alice? You had a good day so far, a good week?
Yes, my day was good. The week was good. Like I said the other day, it's been very cold, but today, at least the weather is not so bad. It's a bit warm.
Okay, I'm glad because I know you were saying before you didn't like the cold weather.
Sure.
I'm glad it's got better for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a nice segue. Going from weather to talking about the environment, we can see here that there's a part 2 question on the screen. So can you see that clearly, Alice?
Yes, I can.
Brilliant. Okay, so in that case, you've got a minute to prepare your response, and then you should talk about this topic for up to 2 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, brilliant. So your minute to prepare starts now. Okay, Alice, are you ready to begin? Oh.
Well, I would like to say that, for example, in my country, a few years back, like 10 years, the country, or rather the government, enacted a law that ensures that all the population in my country, before you cut a tree, you have to get authorization from the government. And by doing so, this has helped to ensure that the forests remain. And this, in the long run, helps to maintain the rainfall. And it has ensured that in some of the areas where we had severe logging of trees, most of the people there have been able to plant trees, because out of the government teaching the population about the importance of having trees, many of the citizens have started planting trees anytime they log off any, or rather anytime they cut down trees, either for burning charcoal or making timber, especially when they want to build the houses. And I think this is a good thing for the country, because apart from the fact that most people don't have big lands, whatever they have in their home areas, for example, even if it is a quarter of an acre, they are able to ensure that they have trees. And whenever they cut trees, they're able to plant more, because the government has encouraged them to ensure that every time they cut a tree, they plant at least 2. And also, for the fear of ensuring that they are not arrested, this makes them ensure that they do not cut trees anyhow. And for example, the burning of the charcoal has reduced, hence also reducing the combustion due to carbon monoxide, which normally comes out of the charcoal, and especially if it is used for cooking. So in one way or the other, it has also helped to improve the health, because using carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide whenever they are cooking with the charcoal, this makes them inhale a lot of the gas.
Okay, thank you, Alice. That's great.
It's a tough one.
It didn't sound like it. It didn't sound like it. Is this a real law? It sounded very realistic, very authentic.
Well, what I know is that in my country, there was a time the government enacted a law, and it was stated that anytime you want to cut a tree, you have to inform the chiefs for them to be able to allow you to do so. But at some point, people started cutting down trees anyhow. But there are places where you can be arrested if you cut a tree.
Wow. Wow. Okay, well, some really nice stuff there, Alice. Just the first thing is Tilda's picked up on government, came up, obviously with a silent N. Combustion. Silent T, combustion. Depends on how you pronounce it, actually. So combustion. I would pronounce it
combustion.
Combustion. Yeah, it's a sound. Combustion. So it's not silent.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. Inform. Yeah, in British pronunciation, the R's disappear after vowels. So inform. Yeah. So some good observations, Tilda. But yeah, really good vocabulary use, Alice, as we've become accustomed to, especially being able to use language directly connected to the topic. So charcoal being a particular example. Also talking about combustion, as mentioned by Tilda. Timber. Just on the pronunciation there, timber.
Timber.
Yeah, so you're talking about that, weren't you, in terms of from the trees and the logging as well, related to the trees. So yeah, some good use of vocabulary there. You corrected yourself at one stage because you talked about, you said they were logging off, and then you reformulated that to cutting down trees. So that was a good, yeah.
How should I use the word logging? Because logging is cutting down trees.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. Logging. So if you say logging
illegal
off,
logging, okay.
Yeah, illegal logging. That would be it. Yeah. Obviously, with logging off, that's to do with computers.
Sure.
So yeah, but you corrected yourself on that. So that was great.
Yeah.
So yeah, some really nice stuff there. Just you use some nice vocabulary, but just there was some repetition of ensure. So just like, you know, some alternatives for that. Like make sure as an example, just so you're not repeating ensure too often. You know, to
what would be the synonyms?
So to make sure.
Okay.
Yeah, instead of ensure, or to make certain would be another one.
Thank you.
To secure, depending on the context, could be used as well. So yeah, that was just one thing that I noticed, and just another one on pronunciation as well. I think at one stage you're talking about lawns. Is that right? Was it lawns? You're talking about people having space.
I think I was talking about the lands.
The land. Oh, okay.
Yes.
So how much land people have? Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to check that. Okay, so that was the land you're referring to. No problems. But yeah, really nice response there, Alice. And another positive was the verb variation as well. So there was some good mixtures between using the present simple and the present perfect as well. So that was good on a grammatical level.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you for getting us kicked off. So
all right. Thank you so much.
Cheers. Okay, so let's have a look at another topic, and the topic now is films. By the way, silent letter, environment. That's another one, isn't it? Environment, similar to government, where you've got the N before the M disappears. So that was another one here. Okay, Rita has her exam tomorrow. So I'm going to bring her into the class now. Hi there, Rita.
Hello, Alex. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Good afternoon. Yeah.
Good afternoon to you. So you have your exam tomorrow?
Yeah.
Best of luck in your exam, Rita. What time?
It's in the morning.
Wow. So this is some final preparation before you go in.
Yes,
do what you need to do.
Yeah, some nerves running around already. I'm really nervous now.
I can imagine. But this is it now. The moment is there. So deep breaths. You know you've done as much preparation as you can. So you just got to go in and show the examiner, show them your stuff, show them what you can do. Okay, so Rita, can you see the topic on the screen?
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute then to prepare your response, and then, as I'm sure you know, you should speak on the topic for between 1 to 2 minutes. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so your preparation time begins now. Okay, Rita, are you ready to begin?
Yeah.
Okay, so please describe a film that you like.
Okay, I would love to tell you three stories about a movie I so much love. When I was much younger, I watched a local program about World War II in Nigeria. Then I was in secondary school, and we had an art exhibition, and the school have to play the movie for all the students because they were teaching us something concerning the effects of war in one of the subjects. So I really love it because I never knew that that was what happened. And after watching it, I had so much insight on what brought about the World War II. Recently, I've been watching a lot of documentaries, but the one that is most fascinating to me is the one I watched about Princess Diana of England. In that film, I discovered that she was a lovable person. A lot of people love her when she was still alive, maybe because of her kind nature or how she got herself to interact with people at every level of life. And that film really taught me that it's really good to be humble and interact with people, no matter the social status you might find yourself. And in the future, I think I will love to watch something about how COVID started in China because I'm a nurse and I have interest in what we are battling with for the past 2 years now to know how it actually started because I think that will help me to discover more about this deadly virus that have ravaged the nation for the past 1 year plus now. I think if I watch that movie concerning how COVID started or how it begins in China, I'll be able to have some things to write about because I'm actually researching on.
Okay,
And is
thank
that
you.
all? Oh,
Thank you very much, Rita. Yeah, we've gone beyond the 2 minutes, so yeah, you've done everything that you need to do. Good. So, Rita, that was really nice. You obviously you kept speaking for the full time, and you showed a high level of fluency in so doing. What I would say though is take a breath because
okay.
it's great that you have the fluency to keep going, but there are
Okay.
moments where just like pausing a little bit I think will make it
Okay.
easier for you. I think sometimes when you're a bit nervous we tend to keep talking and we don't pause, we don't stop for air, which is what we would normally do when we are talking. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's useful to just bear that in mind because I think during the talk you described 3 different documentaries, and so we started off talking about the World War II, then went on to Princess Diana, then talking about COVID in China. And so because there wasn't really much of a pause between them, sometimes it was difficult to see why you were talking about all these different things. But I think maybe you're doing it because you think, right, I want to fill in the 2 minutes. But if you did sort of like pause a little bit just
Okay.
between certain pieces of information, then you won't have to say as much basically, and it will sound a bit more natural as well. So yeah, so for example, when you're talking about the situation with Princess Diana and the things that you learnt, you can pause. You can say, what I really learnt from this was the fact that it's important to be polite to people, whatever your social status. That's something that I really learnt. And then another documentary that I watched. So you can pause rather than speaking too quickly, and then you have to say more things, and it can be more difficult to follow the talk. So that would be the only thing I would say, really, Rita, is that just slow it down just a little bit,
Okay.
and that way, what you say is going to resonate more with the examiner. They're going to be able to follow what you're saying more easily, and they'll be able to give you more credit for
Oh.
the fluency that you clearly have. Yeah, but there's some really good use of structuring phrases in there. So you were talking about the documentary after watching it, when you're talking about Princess Diana when she was still alive. So you were using some really good phrases there to show fluency and coherence. And there was some nice collocations. So social status was a nice collocation to use as well. The effects of war was another nice expression that you used. You're using superlative forms, so there's some grammatical variation. You said, you know, the most fascinating documentary. At every level of life was another nice expression you were using. So lots of really good expressions, and generally speaking, your grammar was accurate as well. The only grammatical slips that I noticed were just sometimes with plural forms. So you said one of the subject, but because it's one of, it means that there must have been more that existed because you're choosing one from a larger group of something. So one of the subjects, and then you also said all the student, but because again there's more than one, when we use all, we would use a plural form, all the students. So yeah, that was the only thing that I noticed in terms of a grammatical slip, but yeah. Some really good stuff there, Rita. Just slow it down slightly, and I think you'll make an even stronger impression in the exam room.
Okay, Alex, thank you so much.
No worries, Rita. Best of luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, take care. Okay, so Tilda is fantastic at this. We've got fascinating. Yeah, that's a brilliant example. Silent C in fascinating. Follow. Yeah, follow. Yeah, the W is just, yeah, follow. Like, that is one, isn't it? Yeah, there's not really much of an influence from the W there. So great, thank you for those, Tilda. Okay, we're going to move on to continue with some more practice. Just before we do, just a reminder to those who have recently joined us in the class that there is an opportunity to get involved with the IELTS Scholarship Program. We here at Swoosh English and Connetics USA are supporting people such as yourself when it comes to working and living in the United States and working as a nurse. So if you would like the support and the guidance needed in order to achieve this, to pass your IELTS exam, in order to make this dream a reality, then sign up today for the scholarship program. The details will be shared in the chat box, and you can see them also on the screen. And you could get all of this support potentially for free. So just click on the link and click on Staff Nurse to find out more information about this opportunity. So we're going to have a look now at the topic of politeness. So a polite person. So let's see who is going to join us to talk about this. Let me bring Wenna into the class. Tell me if I've pronounced that wrong. Hi there. Are we there? No? Okay, it doesn't seem as if Wenna is here at the moment. Okay, let me, in that case, bring Lauren into the class. Hi there, Lauren. Are you there, Lauren? Hello? Okay, so let's try again. We will find someone eventually. Persistence is key. Are there any new students that have joined us? Miriala, are you there, Miriala? Let me bring you. Hi, Miriala, are you there? Hello? Okay. So we seem to be, unless, okay, so Weena's saying that she's available. Let me try and bring Weena back in. Are you there, Weena?
Yes, sir.
Okay, finally. I was starting to worry then. I thought my audio had stopped working. Okay. Hi there. So am I pronouncing your name correctly? How should I pronounce your name?
How you pronounce my name? Wenna.
Yeah.
Simple
Wenna.
Wenna. Yes,
Wenna.
yes.
Okay. Good, good. Okay, Wenna, where are you today?
I'm here in Oman.
Okay. And have you joined us in the class previously?
No, it's my first time.
I thought so. A very warm welcome to you, Wenna. Where are you from originally?
I'm from the Philippines.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so Wenna, can you see the topic on the screen?
Yes, I can.
Brilliant. Okay, so you've got a minute to prepare your response, and then you should speak about the topic for between 1 to 2 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so your preparation time starts now. Okay, Wenna, are you ready to begin?
Okay, I will try, sir.
Okay, so describe a polite person you know.
Okay, the ideal person that I would love to describe today is my brother. So, my brother is the eldest person. My brother, I've known him since when I was a kid. So, I would describe him as a polite, and he really knows how to he really knows how to say polite words to most of the elder people in my family. And I've known him since when I was a kid, and I would say that this person is not just polite. I would say that this person is also a selfless person, because when my father is already retired, he's the one sent my brother to the school. He supported his study, and aside from that, my brother is he loves to share his blessing to his family, because I remember 10 years ago when my mom got sick. Supposed to be he should buy his own house and lot, but eventually my mom got sick and she got cancer. So he's the one who supported my mother at that time, and then he's the one who paid for the chemotherapeutic drugs. And aside from being polite person, he's also a hardworking person, and he's willing to share every thing he had to his family. And I really love him because he's so good. He knows how to share his blessing, and aside from that, he really loves his family. In the Philippines, the family is the backbone, our backbone, and family is
Okay,
really important. Yes.
thank you very much, Wenna. Thank you. It's
Okay.
a very nice story as well, about your brother.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. So yeah, some really nice stuff there. First of all, well done for continuing to speak for the full 2 minutes. You had obviously lots to say about your brother, which was very understandable. So some nice use of some grammatical structures. So you said he's not just polite, he's also selfless. So it's a nice way that you linked those two things together. Showed a good level of coherence as well to do it in that way. Also, you're using some phrases, other phrases to link ideas, to build on ideas. So aside from that was an expression that you used. Also, aside from being, so using the gerund, so that was correct grammar as well. Your pronunciation was generally clear too, so that was good as well. Pointers I would just make is just be careful about hesitation. So there were sort of moments of hesitation and slight repetition as well. So maybe with this, it's just a case of just getting a bit more familiar, maybe doing it a few more times, so you're confident with it, just so you can reduce that hesitation a little bit, because that'll influence your fluency score if the hesitation is noticeable. And also just with variety as well. So it was great you were using the expression aside from that in order to add information, but there's other ways that you could express it. So you used it 2 or 3 times. So besides that, or as well as that, or on top of that. So these are some other expressions that you can use just to give a bit more variety. And finally, just with grammar, you talked about him sharing to. So he shares everything to his family, I think you said, but it will be share with the preposition that you want to use. So yeah, just a grammatical point there. But aside from that, as I said, there were lots of strengths in your talk, and yeah, lots of good positive things that you can build on. So well done. Okay. So we will continue. Let's move on now to some part 3 practice for the final 15 minutes or so of the class. And I'm going to bring up a part 3 topic now. Okay, so this is a quick description for part 3. It's obviously different to part 2 in the sense that it's a question and answer format. But the questions will be linked in topic to what you discuss in part 2 when you're in the exam room. You won't be able to see the questions for part 3 in the exam room, be aware of that. Your answers to part 3 questions should be clear and structured, so use of linkers is important there, and you should also give opinions where required, and you should explain and justify your opinions as well. So expanding on the questions is important for part 3. And giving opinions and explanations for those opinions and justifications for those opinions is an important way of expanding your points. So we're going back to the topic of the environment or rules, and I'm going to bring a student in to discuss those now. Let me bring Bunny into the class. Bunny is new as well, so let me bring Bunny in. Hello.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hello.
Welcome to the class, Bunny.
Hi, sir. Alex,
Where
I'm a bit nervous. I'm from Philippines.
you're from the Philippines? Are you living in the Philippines?
Yes, I'm here in the Philippines and it's flooding outside of my home.
Not literally, I hope.
Yeah, it's literally flooding outside, but it's okay. I'm safe here inside my house.
Wow. Stay safe. Stay safe. Okay. Well, yeah. A very warm welcome to the class, Bunny. It's always great to have new people joining us in the class. So, are you ready to do some practice?
Yeah, sure. I'm a bit
Brilliant.
nervous.
Well, don't be. This is just a practice, remember. Yeah, let's start then. So I'm going to ask you questions relating to the environment and to rules. So my first question to you is, do you think it's important to have rules at school?
Yes, absolutely. It's very vital to have rules and regulations at school because this is a way that the learners can um, realize that when they become an adult, there is certain rules or laws that they need to follow in order for them to become a law-abiding citizen, and so that they can at least share their learnings from school to their colleagues one day.
And what can schools do to make students obey those rules?
I reckon that schools can create like a punishment if ever students will not obey certain regulations, such as um, there should be an assignment after the class to clean the room. If someone will not obey it, tomorrow the punishment, they'll have additional workload for their assignments.
And what should parents do to encourage children to respect rules at school?
Parents are considered as the first instructor that can give education to their children. So I should say that for their children to obey these certain kind of law in school, they should set as a leader in their house. So, for example, They should have a segregation for their rubbish at home for biodegradable and non-biodegradable. So the children needs to witness their parents that they're doing it exactly, so that the children can realize that their parents are showing um, leadership in their own house. So these examples can at least have the kids idea that this should also be brought in school.
Thank you very much. Okay, some great responses there, Bunny. I particularly like the way that you expanded on the answers to the questions, and you provided justifications for your opinions, and you did so in a clear manner. So I thought you did a really good job with that aspect of the task. You also did a really good job in terms of stating clearly what your opinion was. So when I asked the first question about rules at school, should there be rules at school, you said yes, absolutely. Some nice opinion vocabulary as well, I reckon, was used, and also language for giving examples, such as came up as well. So some really good stuff you were showing there for part 3. Some nice vocabulary items, some collocations. So law-abiding citizen was a nice one. And also showing leadership was a nice collocation to use. Talking about parents being a leader in their, or showing leadership in their own house was also a nice expression. So yeah, some really good stuff. Not many grammatical slips, but just one that I noticed. You said there is certain rules, but rules being
There's
plural.
rule.
Well,
Okay.
there are certain rules.
There
Just
are
yeah,
certain rules. Okay.
yeah, because rules is plural, so we'd say there are rather than there is. Um, and then also you said the children needs to witness, but children is plural,
Need to
so
read. Need to
exactly,
witness. Okay.
exactly.
But the
Um,
hesitation is noticeable, right?
there was some hesitation, but I think it wasn't. No, I wouldn't say it was noticeable. I think because of the fact for part 3, you obviously don't have time to prepare your answers. It's natural there's going to be a little bit of hesitation as you're um, thinking about exactly how you want to approach the question. So there was some hesitation, but I would say most of it was natural hesitation. There wasn't a
Oh,
moment where
okay.
it seemed as
All
if
right.
your fluency was breaking down. So I would say that your responses were good on that level. So
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
Alex.
Thank you, Bunny. Welcome to the class, and I hope to see you in the class next week.
I hope so. Thank you,
Okay.
Alex.
Thank you. Take care. Okay. So let's continue. Let's see who else is going to come in. Okay. So Tilda, assignment. Brilliant. Brilliant, Tilda. That's another one. Yeah. Silent G and assignment. Well done. When do we use reckon, says Alice. So it means I believe, I think. Yeah, that's what it means. So we can use it as an alternative to saying I believe or I think. Okay, I'm bringing Jess into the class now. How you doing, Jess?
I feel so knackered, but I'll give it a shot.
Why? Why are you so knackered?
Because I just finished my 12-hour shift and tomorrow I will
Wow.
be going back to
Okay. In that case, I understand. It makes sense. Um, how's your week been so far? I hope you've not been doing 12-hour shifts every day.
it's been for 3 days and going
Right.
for tomorrow. So I feel so knackered, but I need to do some practice because it's been a long time.
Okay. Well, welcome back, and we're going to move on to the topic of films. So I'm going to ask you some questions on this topic, Jess. And the first question I'd like to ask you is, do you think going to the cinema is a waste of money?
In my opinion, it is not a waste of money because it is the time that we spend our time with our loved ones and we make some bonds with our friends. So in this kind of action, we do not just collect some memories, but also we support the actors and actresses in the said in that specific type of movie. So I discourage also the city in the citizen, the Filipino citizen, to I mean um to promote some to promote some watching some movies in illegal sites. So I think it's not a waste of money, but it is a very good opportunity to show our support to the filmmakers and the actors and actresses.
Do you think that movie stars get paid too much money?
I think they also deserve the payment that they get from the movies, because it is very tiring to make some movies. And I think that it is well equally divided in the actors and actresses, and also to the producers too.
Do you think that movie stars are important to the success of a movie?
I can say that there's a big impact when it comes to promoting a certain type of movie, and that certain type of actor or actresses is very famous. There could be a big chance that this type of movie could be a big hit in the people. And I think that um, they play a vital role, because they they can also invite some of their fans to watch this type of movie, and in that case his or her co-actresses can also learn some experience from the said movie and also gain some income.
Some people say they don't enjoy watching films with subtitles. Do you enjoy watching films with subtitles?
Well, in my case, I often watch movies with subtitles because I think I'm not very good in English when it comes to listening. So most of the time, I watch movies with subtitles, especially some British actors, because there's a certain types of pronunciation that I'm not very familiar of. So I prefer watching with subtitles, because I can pick up some words and look at it after watching the movie in the dictionaries, and then I and somehow I will learn that type of vocabs and apply it in my IELTS review.
And do you think you can learn about a foreign culture by watching foreign movies?
Well, I may say that not not just watching movies, but also by watching documentaries. But nowadays, documentaries are not that kind of popular, so they often show it through movies. And by watching the movies itself, they produce some bibliographies about that certain type of person if you're interested in, and then especially you will get hooked if one of your actor is performing that type of character.
Okay, thank you very much there, Jess.
uh,
How do you
I,
feel?
I don't know, I think I did not improve at all.
Why do you say that?
It's because I keep on answering very short. I'm not giving some examples.
No, I think that you are expanding on what you're saying. So I don't think your answers are too short. And I think that you are using a good variety of vocabulary in what you're saying as well. What I would say is when you're expanding on your points, there can sometimes be a slight lack of clarity.
Okay.
So for example, just looking at that final question. So when you were answering about learning a foreign culture through watching foreign movies, and you said that people you can learn more from watching documentaries. Then you went on to say they often show it through movies. So you're using it, but I wasn't sure what it was referring to in the context of what you were saying. And
Okay.
that's just one example. So what I would say is when you're expanding, make sure that your expansion is clear, and make sure you're clear in terms of what you are communicating, because I think maybe with the tiredness sometimes we can lose a bit of clarity. And the issue is not the vocabulary is clear, it's just sometimes the references, like you're referring to certain things but it's not completely clear what you're referring to. So that would just be one thing I would say. So you're expanding, but it's just sometimes there's a slight lack of clarity in the way that you're expanding. So like just recording yourself and just sort of listening back sometimes it's worth doing, because then you can think to yourself, what exactly was it I was trying to express there? And then you can maybe reformulate it, just to make sure your ideas are always clear. But yeah, you're using some good vocabulary. Show our support. There were some good collocations and expressions there. You said at one point, you said to make some bonds, which was, you know, the bonds is a nice vocabulary item to use. Usually we would say to create bonds or to forge bonds. There's other verbs that we could use with it. You talked about a film being a big hit, which was a nice expression to use, very common expression for relating to films. And also, when asked about movie stars, how much you get paid, you said, yeah, you reformulated. So you used a paraphrase. You said they deserve the payment. So taking the verb and reformulating it into a noun. So it showed that you had that vocabulary variety. Your pronunciation was very clear throughout as well. There was a little bit of hesitation sometimes in the responses. So again, I think that can be sometimes with tiredness. Sometimes it can slow us down just a little bit. It didn't break your fluency down, but it was just at times it was a little bit noticeable with some of the hesitation. Just with prepositions. So you said I'm not very good in English, which I disagree with. Well, you said with listening, you said I'm not very good in English. We would say at. I'm not very good at. Exactly. Yeah. So to be good at, yeah, something. And then you said also at one point you used the expression familiar of, but it should be familiar with. So yeah, exactly. So that's the preposition that we would use there. But on a positive, you used a nice phrasal verb. You talked about to pick up some words. So yeah, to pick up things from watching foreign films. That was a nice phrasal verb that you used there. So that would count towards using idiomatic language. So that was good. So yeah, so there are lots of good things in there, Jess. But the two things that I would focus on are just making sure with the fluency and coherence that your developments are clear. And sometimes they were, but there were other times where I was struggling to follow your points a little bit. So that would be the main thing that I would focus on going forwards. Okay.
Thank you so much, Sir.
Okay. No worries. Thank you, Jess. And I hope you get some rest very soon.
I hope so too.
Okay. Take care. Okay. So that almost brings us to the end of the class today. Thank you to all those who have watched us live and who have participated through Facebook and YouTube, and also who've joined us in the class as well to do the IELTS speaking practice. Apologies to all those who I wasn't able to bring in who did join us live in the class. If I didn't bring you in this week, then I'll make it a priority to bring you in next week when we next do the IELTS speaking practice. Let me just remind those who are watching on Facebook or YouTube, or who are watching the recorded class, there is the opportunity to join us live in the class. And the way to do that and to get lots of other support as well here at Swoosh in Connetics is to join the IELTS scholarship program. So you can get support in terms of achieving your goals of living and working as a nurse in the USA. You could receive all of this support potentially for free. So click on the link in the chat box, and also which you can see on the banner here, and click on the option staff nurse in order to find out more about this opportunity. Okay, so thanks once again to all of those who have been involved in today's class. A special well done to Tilda for noticing so many of these silent letters. I hope you've all made a list of these so that you will be able to pronounce them correctly going forwards. So until next week, take care and have a great weekend.